I want you to take a moment, close your eyes, and reflect on your dreams. What are the things you've been striving for? What are the goals you've been working towards, hoping that one day they'll come to life? But here's the truth. The difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who don't isn't talent, it isn't luck, it isn't connections. It's consistency. Yes, you heard me right. Consistency is the bridge that connects where you are now to where you want to be. And today, I want to challenge you. I want to tell you something powerful. Force yourself to be consistent. When the motivation fades, when the excitement dies down, when the world tells you to give up, it's consistency that will carry you through. The journey ahead won't always be easy. It won't always be fun. But if you want to see the results you've been praying for, you have to show up every single day. Whether you feel like it or not, whether the conditions are perfect or not, whether you're tired or not. So let's talk about how we can make consistency a non-negotiable part of our lives and why forcing yourself to stay consistent can change everything. Consistency over motivation. Relying on motivation is unreliable. Consistency is the foundation of long-term success. Motivation is a powerful feeling. It's that surge of energy that makes you feel invincible, like you can conquer the world. You wake up in the morning and feel inspired to work on your dreams, and everything feels possible. Motivation pushes you to take that first step, whether it's in the gym, at work, or pursuing any personal goal. It can propel you forward when you need it the most, giving you that extra push to go beyond your limits. But here's the problem. Motivation is fleeting. It doesn't last. It's not a steady, reliable force that you can depend on day in and day out. It's like a spark that ignites a fire but can easily burn out if you don't feed it with something more consistent. That's why relying solely on motivation can be dangerous. What happens when motivation fades? What do you do when the excitement wears off and you're faced with the reality of hard work, repetition, and challenge? This is where consistency comes into play. Unlike motivation, which can come and go, consistency is something you create. It's a choice you make every day, regardless of how you feel. And that's the key to achieving any long-term goal or sustaining any meaningful progress in your life. Think about it this way. Motivation is like the fuel for the initial push, but consistency is the engine that keeps the car moving. If you only rely on motivation, you're going to find yourself stranded in the middle of the road when that fuel runs out. But if you commit to consistency, you'll be able to keep going even when the enthusiasm fades or life throws challenges your way. It's not about waiting for the right moment to feel motivated again. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's about making progress, no matter how small, each and every day. One of the most common mistakes people make when pursuing a goal is thinking that they need to feel motivated all the time. They think that if they're not fired up and excited, they're not doing enough or that something is wrong. This is where consistency comes in to correct that mindset. Consistency doesn't require excitement, passion, or enthusiasm at every moment. It requires you to commit to the process even when the motivation isn't there. It requires a decision to do the work, even when it feels mundane or tiresome. When you focus on consistency, you shift the mindset from how I feel to what I need to do. This shift allows you to make steady progress even when you're not at your peak. Imagine you're training for a marathon. If you wait for motivation to hit every time you lace up your running shoes, you might only run a few days a week. You'll find yourself making excuses, skipping sessions, or falling behind. But if you commit to consistency, you show up every day, rain or shine. You don't have to feel motivated to run every time, but you do it anyway because you understand that the process is more important than the fleeting feeling of motivation. Over time, those daily runs, no matter how small or slow, add up. You start building endurance, strength, and eventually, you achieve your goal. Consistency isn't about giving yourself a pass when things are difficult. In fact, it's the opposite. It's about committing to the process even when life doesn't seem to align with your plans. It's about pushing through the moments when everything inside you is telling you to quit. The truth is, life isn't always going to be perfect. There will be days when you're tired, days when you're discouraged, and days when you just don't want to do it anymore. But it's on those days that consistency matters the most. It's on those days when you decide to show up anyway, to put in the work even when you don't feel like it, that you make the greatest strides towards success. In fact, your greatest achievements often come not in moments of motivation, but in moments of discipline. When you've pushed through the resistance and stayed committed despite how you feel. This is the power of consistency. It allows you to keep going when motivation fails you. It helps you stay focused and aligned with your goals even when the initial excitement has worn off. And it builds momentum, which is something motivation alone can never do. A key part of consistency is understanding that it doesn't always require massive actions. It's not about doing everything perfectly or making huge leaps every single day. Sometimes consistency means showing up and doing a little bit more than the day before. It's the small, consistent actions that accumulate over time and lead to big results. Think of it as stacking small wins, one after the other. If you were to run just 1 mile each day, even if it felt like a minimal effort at first, you would gradually build endurance and strength. Over the course of weeks or months, that 1 mile run would become a foundation for much greater physical achievement. Consistency also means that when you face setbacks, you don't give up or get discouraged. Instead, you return to the process. You don't make a setback an excuse to quit. You use it as a stepping stone to continue your journey. Everyone faces setbacks. Everyone has days where they feel off track. But those who understand the importance of consistency know that these moments don't define them. It's their ability to pick themselves up and continue on their path no matter the obstacles that ultimately determines their success. The beauty of consistency is that it's within your control. Motivation comes from external sources. Sometimes you feel it, sometimes you don't. But consistency is a personal commitment. It's something you can choose, even when it's difficult. It's not about waiting for the perfect circumstances or the right mindset. It's about deciding that you will make progress regardless of the external conditions. When you focus on consistency over motivation, you stop waiting for that perfect moment to act. You stop waiting for motivation to strike before you get started. You realize that the key to achieving your goals is not in the burst of excitement that comes in the beginning, but in the quiet, consistent effort you put forth day in and day out. And when you make that shift, you'll find that you can achieve things you once thought were impossible because you've cultivated the habit of showing up no matter what. Discipline drives results. Success isn't about perfection, but about showing up, even when it's difficult. Discipline is the unsung hero behind success. While many people often glorify passion and motivation, it is discipline that truly drives results. It's the quiet force that keeps you moving when you would rather stop. The steady hand that guides you toward your goals when external forces seem to be working against you. Discipline is what makes the difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who simply wish for them. It's what separates the dreamers from the doers. The key to achieving any significant goal is not perfection, but persistence. Success is built not in a single moment of brilliance, but in the accumulation of small disciplined actions over time. It's easy to become caught up in the idea that achieving greatness requires grand gestures or a single life-changing event. The truth is, however, that success is the result of countless hours of work, effort, and focus, often under less than ideal circumstances. Discipline allows you to keep going when things don't go as planned. when setbacks arise, and when the road to success seems long and filled with obstacles. Consider the process of mastering any new skill. When you start, there's excitement and energy. You're motivated by the idea of reaching a high level of proficiency. But as time passes, that initial burst of enthusiasm begins to fade. This is where discipline steps in. Motivation alone won't carry you to the finish line, and this is where so many people fall short. When the thrill wears off and the reality of hard work sets in, it's discipline that allows you to continue putting in the necessary effort day after day, even when the results aren't immediately visible. It's about showing up for the work even when the spark of excitement is no longer there. Think about professional athletes. What they achieve isn't just the result of raw talent or natural ability, though these qualities are certainly important. More often than not, their success is a product of relentless discipline. They wake up early, train for hours, follow strict routines, and consistently push themselves, even when their bodies are sore, tired, or even resistant. Their progress is measured not by moments of exceptional performance, but by their ability to push through the monotony of training, to keep working when they feel like giving up. They practice when they don't feel like practicing. They push their limits when they want to quit. And it's this discipline that eventually leads to success, not the bursts of motivation they might feel on any given day. The same principle applies to any area of life, whether it's your career, your personal goals, or your health. It's the disciplined actions you take consistently that lead to results, not the occasional flurry of effort. If you want to build a successful business, you must put in the work day in and day out, even when the progress seems slow or invisible. If you want to get in shape, you need to commit to a routine, even on the days when you feel tired or unmotivated. If you want to advance in your career, you have to stay disciplined, learning new skills, taking on new challenges, and working toward your goals, even when it feels like you're not getting the recognition you deserve. Discipline is about more than simply showing up. It's about showing up with focus and intention. It's easy to show up to work, but it's a different thing entirely to show up with a sense of purpose, ready to put in your best effort. Discipline is what ensures that you are consistently moving in the right direction, even when distractions arise or obstacles appear. It allows you to stay focused on your long-term vision rather than getting caught up in the short-term challenges. This is where many people falter. They allow temporary setbacks, difficulties, or distractions to derail them. Discipline is what keeps you grounded and reminds you that every small effort counts, even if the immediate outcome isn't spectacular. One of the most challenging aspects of discipline is learning to be patient. Results rarely come overnight. Whether it's learning a new skill, building a business, or improving your fitness, it takes time to see significant changes. But discipline allows you to trust the process even when the results aren't immediate. It teaches you that success isn't a straight path, but a series of steps that must be taken regardless of how long it takes. When you stay disciplined, you learn to embrace the journey and understand that every effort, no matter how small, is moving you closer to your goal. This is why discipline is not about perfection. Many people get caught up in the idea that they must do everything perfectly in order to be successful. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect conditions, or the perfect mood before taking action. But perfection is an illusion, and it's not necessary for success. What matters more is the commitment to keep going, even when things aren't perfect. Discipline allows you to accept that mistakes are a part of the process. It helps you to see failure not as a reason to quit, but as an opportunity to learn and improve. Every time you fall short, discipline gives you the resilience to rise again and continue the work. In life, there will be moments when you feel discouraged or uninspired. The path ahead may seem uncertain, and the work required may feel overwhelming. This is when discipline becomes especially crucial. It's during these difficult times that you must rely on your inner strength to push through. Discipline helps you resist the temptation to give up when the going gets tough. It allows you to keep moving forward even when the finish line seems distant and unreachable. Furthermore, discipline isn't something that is reserved only for moments of hardship. It also applies during the good times when things are flowing smoothly. In fact, discipline is often most important during periods of success. When things are going well, it's easy to become complacent, to coast on the momentum you've built. But true discipline means continuing to put in the work, to keep improving, and to stay consistent, even when you feel like you've already made it. It's about recognizing that the work doesn't stop just because you've reached a milestone. Discipline ensures that you stay hungry for more and never rest on your laurels. The truth is that no one achieves success without discipline. Motivation alone can only take you so far, and talent can only get you through the door. But it's discipline that keeps you there. It's what enables you to build something sustainable, something that lasts. Success isn't just about having a great idea or moment of brilliance. It's about the small, disciplined actions you take day after day that allow you to bring that idea to life and make it a reality. Discipline is the steady hand that guides you through the ups and downs, through the challenges and triumphs, and ultimately to your desired destination. Commitment to growth. Small, consistent efforts lead to monumental change over time. Growth is a journey, not a destination. It is a continuous process that requires dedication, patience, and most importantly, commitment. The idea of growth is often tied to grand transformations, monumental changes, and rapid success. However, the reality is that growth happens in small, incremental steps. The key to real sustainable growth lies in the commitment to these small efforts, the daily choices you make that compound over time to create lasting change. The path to growth is paved not with dramatic leaps, but with consistent, intentional actions that add up to something significant. The problem is that many people underestimate the power of small efforts. They believe that if they don't make big strides or achieve quick results, their efforts are not worth it. This mindset is dangerous because it overlooks the incredible potential of incremental progress. The truth is, growth doesn't happen overnight. It's built on the small, consistent actions that you take every day, even when those actions don't seem to bring immediate results. This is why commitment to growth is so important. It requires you to stay consistent, even when you can't see the immediate impact of your efforts. Consider the analogy of a tree. When you plant a seed, it takes time for the roots to grow deep into the soil. The tree doesn't shoot up overnight. It begins with small, almost invisible changes beneath the surface. These early stages of growth are often unseen by the human eye. Yet over time, the tree begins to break through the ground, slowly but steadily reaching toward the sky. Every day, it absorbs water and nutrients, grows its roots, and stretches its branches. It's the accumulation of these small daily actions, these seemingly insignificant moments, that eventually lead to the tree becoming strong and tall. If the tree were to give up during those early, slow stages, it would never reach its full potential. The same is true for personal growth. It's not the dramatic, overnight success that builds you. It's the small, steady progress that compounds over time. This is why commitment to growth is such a powerful mindset. It asks you to focus on the process rather than the outcome. When you commit to growing, you make a promise to yourself that you will keep showing up even when the results aren't immediate. You commit to doing the small things, day in and day out, regardless of how insignificant they may seem. Whether it's learning a new skill, improving your health, or advancing your career, the consistent actions you take today will build the foundation for the person you become tomorrow. Success doesn't come from a few big dramatic moments. It comes from the accumulation of hundreds, even thousands, of small decisions and efforts over time. There is power in consistency. It's easy to get distracted by the shiny object syndrome, jumping from one goal to another looking for the quick fix, the shortcut, or the magic formula that promises rapid success. But the truth is, there are no shortcuts when it comes to growth. True growth takes time and commitment. The people who achieve lasting success are the ones who show up day after day, focusing on steady improvement no matter how slow it may seem. They understand that growth is about progress, not perfection. It's about becoming 1% better every day, knowing that these small improvements will compound and lead to monumental change over time. One of the biggest challenges to growth is the temptation to compare yourself to others. It's easy to look at someone who has achieved a level of success that you desire and feel discouraged because you aren't there yet. Social media, in particular, can amplify this sense of inadequacy. We see snapshots of people's successes, their accomplishments, their polished images, and we assume that they achieved it all effortlessly. What we don't see are the countless hours of hard work, sacrifice, and small efforts they put in behind the scenes. We don't see the slow, steady progress they made over years. When you commit to growth, you focus on your own journey. You stop comparing your beginning to someone else's middle or end. You focus on the consistent efforts that are within your control, and you trust that, over time, those efforts will pay off. Growth requires patience. It requires you to trust the process even when the progress feels slow. It's easy to become discouraged when the results don't come as quickly as you like. You might feel like you're not making any progress, or that your efforts are futile. But this is where commitment to growth becomes crucial. It helps you persevere even when you can't see the immediate results of your efforts. It's about knowing that every small step forward is a step in the right direction, even if you don't see a big leap immediately. Over time, those small steps add up. They compound, they create momentum, and eventually you will look back and realize how far you've come. Another important aspect of commitment to growth is learning to embrace failure. Growth is rarely a linear process. There will be setbacks, mistakes, and moments of failure along the way, but rather than viewing these moments as signs of defeat, committed individuals see them as opportunities for growth. Each failure is a lesson. Each setback is a chance to learn, adapt, and improve. The commitment to growth is a commitment to resilience, to getting back up every time you fall. It's understanding that failure is not the end, but a necessary part of the process. Without failure, there can be no growth. Without mistakes, there can be no learning. The commitment to growth also requires self-discipline. It's about doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's easy to put things off, to wait for motivation to strike, or to let distractions pull you away from your goals. But growth demands that you show up consistently even when you'd rather not. It requires you to push through the discomfort and keep working toward your goals even on the days when it feels hard. Discipline is what helps you stay on track even when the journey is tough or when you're not seeing immediate results. It's what separates those who make progress from those who don't. Growth is not just about external achievements, it's about internal transformation as well. It's about becoming the person you need to be in order to achieve your goals. This internal growth often happens in small, quiet moments. It happens when you show up and do the work even when no one is watching. It happens when you choose to take responsibility for your actions, when you decide to learn from your mistakes, and when you commit to continuous improvement. The person you become in the process of growth is just as important as the results you achieve. Ultimately, the commitment to growth is a decision you make every day. It's a commitment to showing up, to doing the work, and to trusting the process. It's about focusing on progress, not perfection, and understanding that small, consistent efforts lead to monumental change over time. Success is not a matter of luck or talent, it's a matter of commitment. When you commit to growth, you're committing to becoming the best version of yourself, one small step at a time.